Good afternoon, and thanks for coming out this afternoon. I'm glad we're getting it in before tomorrow. I guess we're calling for some dirt, but anyway, very, very pleased that Constable Rory Jeddore has joined us this afternoon. About maybe a month ago, we had a conversation after Mass one morning, and he's been dealing with a lot of these files of folks in town and his area that have been getting scammed and getting all kinds of phone calls, which I'm sure we've all received. And some people are just kind of smart enough just to hang up, but it's pretty sophisticated and it's easy to get taken in. So we began talking about that Rory would like to do a public presentation to raise awareness and give some good information. So I'm really grateful that for his presence this afternoon and for his agreeing to do that. And thank you for your presence. So you don't need to hear me anymore. It's I'm going to turn you over to the expert. So thanks, Rory, again. Great to have you.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming out. First of all, I guess I'd like to do a little introduction of myself. My name is Rory Jeddore. I'm originally a Newfoundlander, born and bred. I'm my 18th year in the RCMP now. All of it except for the last 3 years have been in Newfoundland. Prior to that, I was a paramedic for 12 years. So it's kind of in my background, I guess, to be trying to help people and make an impact, I guess. Anyway, one of the things we noticed lately is that there's a lot of frauds and stuff like that going on. So we want to get the word out there. Unfortunately, a lot of the victims are seniors, elderly, but not necessarily exclusive. I mean, these people, I've dealt with people in their 20s. We find that a lot of new Canadians are being victimized. Don't have a reason for it other than basically just sheer numbers. It's kind of luck, right? But anyway, so what I didn't want to do death by PowerPoint today, but I did do a PowerPoint, and I'll just be reading off that and kind of referring to my notes just to make sure that I cover off certain items. But if you have any questions, I'd like hopefully that you can keep them till the end, and we'll chat, and I'll be around when we're done. And if it's something that maybe you think that the crowd will benefit from, then by all means ask it when we're done, and it just makes things go a little easier. So like I said, recently there have been increasing frauds in Canada, and especially here in Port Hawkesbury as well. The schemes have been disguised as legitimate businesses. So you get a call from your utility company or your credit card company, your bank, saying that there's an issue. And so they've also been using government agencies, fraudsters, to go online or even give you a phone call. The frauds are intended to deceive people into giving them money, access to personal information, access to online banking. They're swindlers. They use tactics to overwhelm their victims. High pressure, now, let's keep it a secret as well. The victims are often retired, unemployed, or don't have a lot of money to spare. They're usually asked to give money, their names, date of birth, social insurance number, bank account information, even access to their computers. There's certain frauds where they say they're from the bank and they need to access your computer, or they're from Microsoft and they need to access your computer. When they do that, they access your online banking and your personal information. Victims may be asked to call a toll-free number. This is often used with, like, we're from Microsoft. We noticed a problem with your computer. Please call this 1-800 number. And basically, when you call that 1-800 number, you get put through to a fraudster who will basically try to access your personal information. Once on the phone, you'll be asked to verify who you are. That's a little scheme they use is, we need to verify that we're talking to John Smith. So can you give me your name, date of birth, telephone number, that sort of thing. And the information gathered, when they gather your information, gather your phone number, gather your social insurance number, date of birth, they use that to apply for loans in your name, apply for credit cards in your name, or just to basically assume your identity. And again, all kinds of bad things happen when they do that. You can imagine getting a phone call from a bank saying, you're late on your payment for your $50,000 loan. Well, I didn't apply for a $50,000 loan, so then we get the phone call. There are fake contests out there. I don't know if you remember a few years ago, the ship's horn would blow, and this is your captain speaking, and that one, everyone seems to laugh and nod at that one. Yeah. Keep in mind that if you didn't enter a contest, why would they be calling you tell you that you won, right? In order to claim your prize, you're often asked to pay for the shipping or the taxes and other processing fees. So, by the time the conversation's over, the victim's usually asked to pay an outstanding tax bill. Anybody got a call lately from the tax man? So, yeah. So when you get a phone call from the tax man, did anybody notice what comes up on the caller ID? It's usually Canada Revenue Agency. Sometimes it's the RCMP. These fraudsters have a technology where they use computers to basically manipulate the caller ID on any phone call. And they can put whatever caller ID on the phone that they want. To give you an idea, I've gotten text messages and phone calls from my own phone number. They're using technology to manipulate the caller ID. So just because it says RCMP or Canada Revenue on your caller ID, be suspicious. Number one, I'll get into that later. I'm jumping ahead of myself, but anyway. So during this presentation, I'll hope to explore con artists, their games, common expressions used, and common consumer frauds. Lastly, we will cover prevention tips to protect against frauds and cons. Again, I didn't really want to do death by PowerPoint, so just bear with me. Being a Newfoundlander, I know I dropped my H's, and I may be hard to understand, especially with a microphone. That's why I took the mask off as well, so all right. So generally, people believe that it can't happen to them. I'm too smart, it cannot happen to them. My mother, God rest her soul, I considered her to be the smartest person I knew. And one particular day, she's on the phone with somebody who identified themselves as a bank, saying that there was a problem with her credit card. She was in the process of giving out her personal information, and my younger brother walked in and realized what was going on, and he shut her down and said, "Mom, hang up the phone, it's a fraud." Again, because the caller ID said Royal Bank, and she just assumed, right? She had a credit card from Royal Bank. Oh my goodness, there must be a problem. So she started giving out credit card information and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind. It's easy just keep in mind that con artists are clever actors. They're well rehearsed, and they often appear friendly and trustworthy. You know, they're doing this for your good. They're doing this for your safety. Okay, lost my path, and I don't have my glasses, so writing got a little smaller on my PowerPoint here. So anyway, so just keep that in mind. Another thing they use is the Pigeon Drop. So the Pigeon Drop would be you've won a contest. All you need to do, my father got a phone call saying you've won a Chevy pickup truck. All we need to do is you need to pay $8,000 to ship it from California. Well, my father says, I didn't enter a contest, so you can take your truck and do what you want with it. So, the call from the bank and the credit card company. You get the phone call from, again, the bank saying, hey, there's a problem with your credit card. What they're doing is they get you on the phone and they want you to confirm your identity. So, number one, do not give anyone your social insurance number. The only time you should be giving somebody your social insurance number is if you're filling out an application for a loan at the bank. All right? Never give it over the phone. Never use your social insurance number to confirm your identity. Never take a computer link. So anybody here, most people here use computers. Some of you probably use online banking as well. You always have to be suspicious when clicking on unsolicited emails and stuff like that, because that's what's called a phishing email. And what a phishing email does is looking for you to click on it and put you through to faulty or fraudulent websites. They'll use all of the graphics to make it look like an official bank website, and they'll also use it to basically they do what's called keystrokes. They copy your keystrokes. So when you log into your online banking, they're tracking what your password is, so they can access it whenever you want. There's all kinds of fun stuff out there. Another phone call you may get may be considered this one not so common anymore, but it was common back a few years ago. It was the I'm in trouble. So you get a phone call from a voice that you don't recognize, and the voice may say grandma, or grandpa, and you don't know who it is. You start listing off your grandchildren. Is this Jimmy? Yeah, it's Jimmy. I got myself in trouble. I've been arrested, and I need money for bail. Can you send me some money? If you get a phone call from somebody and you're not quite sure who it is, always ask. For your own safety, for your own benefit, for your own money. If you're suspicious of who it is or you don't know who it is, don't be embarrassed to ask, like, who is this? Don't just start listing names and go, Johnny, Jimmy, Susie, whoever. If you don't know who it is, ask. It's pretty simple. But like I said, this scam's not so prevalent anymore. They've gone to more. I find lately it's been more online stuff. Dude, medical fraud. So you also have lots of different websites saying that their product, I guess, can solve cure illnesses and stuff like that. If you wear this bracelet or you wear this anklet or you use this lotion, that's a fraud, but you don't lose as much money and stuff like that with this type of thing. But it should be considered false advertising, and I really don't know why the higher ups haven't really picked up on this and considered this false advertising or stuff like that. But that's beyond my pay grade. I'm just a lowly constable here in Port Hawkesbury. Let's see. The buy and sell. A couple of things about buy and sell. I don't know, Facebook buy and sell. Anybody familiar with it? Anybody use it? Yeah, a few hands coming up there. That's being used a lot lately as an avenue as well. So what'll happen is, I have a dog. Excuse me. I'm looking to buy a puppy, so I go on, I search puppies, and all of a sudden I get a hit on a website in Alberta. Well, puppies are going fast, so now they need a $100 deposit from me. Oh, the puppy needs vaccinations. I need a $300 deposit from you. Okay, now we need to ship the dog to you, so now all of a sudden we need $1,000 to fly the dog to you. You go to Halifax to pick up the dog, no dog arrives. So, again, me personally, the advice I like to give people is if you cannot meet these people in person, you shouldn't be sending them money. My thing is, fraudsters will always use high pressure, high tactics. So, for example, dogs are going fast, I need a deposit to hold it for you. If they can't wait, or you can't meet them in person, or you can't go that day to pick up this dog, the warning I'd always give people is don't be willing to send money over the internet that you're not willing to lose. All right, so basically, if you're not willing to be out of pocket $100, or you can't afford to be out of pocket $100 because of that $100 deposit you put on the dog, you shouldn't be sending it. And the reason I say that is, unless you meet someone face to face, any transaction done over the internet could be a potential fraud, could be a potential theft, basically. They're stealing from you, identity. Okay. Another one we rarely see here, but it does pop up from time to time, is the romance. And the romance usually starts with somebody who's been single all their life or recently lost a loved one, and they're feeling lonely, so they reach out on the internet and they start coercing and conversing with people on the internet. And, they make friends with somebody, let's say in England. And in England, they're carrying on the conversation. These romances can go on for years. I've seen scams where the person's been, I'll say, grooming their victim for a year and a half, 2 years. So basically, they befriend the person. Essentially, they become their friends, but their intention is not good. What they're doing is they eventually comes to a point where I really want to come see you, but I can't afford the plane ticket. Can you send me money? Oh, there's a problem with my passport. Can you send me money? I really want to come see you. I really want to come meet you. And then, again, the person's out of money. I've run into trouble with my rent, my apartment. I'm going to lose my apartment. Can you send me money? When you're online, and these people are trusting, right? I mean, you just spent years conversing with this person, getting to know whether or not they were truthful with their information or not, but you spent a lot of time getting to know this person. Now they're asking you for money. A lot of people are trusting enough to send them money, and people have been out their life savings. I've got a lady here now. She's local, and she applied for a grant. Well, she thought it was a grant. So how it started was she got a Facebook message from a friend who was a legitimate friend, but what had happened was her Facebook account got hacked. So she sent the message to all of her friends all of the friends on her list got sent the same message, and she bit it. So she said, okay, tell me about this grant. It was supposed to be a $65,000 grant for building repairs. So she said, okay, and she started sending money. She started sending more money. Always it would be something, a problem with the bank, in order to speed up the process. Can you send me money? And eventually what had happened was the request came in for these things. Anybody know what these things are? They're Apple iTunes cards. I don't know if you've ever bought them for other people's gifts. These are Sephora gift cards. So Sephora is a large makeup company that all the young people, young girls and some guys, I guess, like. And gift cards are often used by fraudsters as a source of payment. So, for example, you may get a request from Canada Revenue saying you owe outstanding taxes, $2,000. We want you to pay us in Google Play cards or iTunes cards or Sephora cards. Anybody ever? Nobody here has ever gotten that phone call? These are different types. So there's Apple iTunes cards. So you can buy these $50, $25, and some of these Sephora ones go up to $500. So this particular person that gave me these Sephora cards, this one's $500. This one's $50. This one's another one, Steam cards. Steam cards are used by kids for gaming. So they buy different things, different games online and stuff like that. The minute you get somebody asking you to pay you in Google iTunes cards, Google Play cards or iTunes cards, you know it's fraudulent. The government of Canada or any legitimate business does not take iTunes cards, Google Play cards, Steam cards as a source of payment. The reason they do this is because they don't need the card to use them. All they need is the code on the back. So they'll ask for this code. So this one's a big 16-digit number, PBH6063. All these have already been cashed in. They're no good. They're just paper, because the lady that used these already gave them the code, right? Fraudsters will often use other non-traceable means of money transfer, such as Western Union. They'll call up and say, "Can you wire me some money through Western Union?" Anybody know where Western Union here is in Port Hawkesbury? At Walmart, right? So you're familiar with it. So fraudsters will always ask for wire transfers, Google Play cards, Steam cards. I'll just pass those around. You can actually you can get a guess for how much money this person sent. And this is only about a quarter of what she sent, because I couldn't bring them all in, right? So the lady that I'm talking about here, she's out $84,000. Right? $84,000, because she was trusting. They'd call up and they'd say, "Problem with your application, please send us more money." But they'd ask for Google Play cards and iTunes cards. And me as a police officer, how do you go to someone and say, "Listen, this is so complicated and so twisted that number one, it'll take me years to investigate, and number two, you'll never see your money again"? I don't know how well off most of you are, but I can't afford to lose $84,000. I'm still working. All right? So I'll just pass those around. So as I was saying, it's just they're sophisticated. they'll use different methods. They'll use any way possible. So basically what I wanted to do to here today is I basically wanted to empower you guys and let you know that, give you information. Maybe I can get a copy of my PowerPoint to Father Conrad, and he can maybe distribute it to you. I should have photocopied it here today, but I was too anxious to get here and meet you all, so I didn't photocopy it. But I will, and it's just to give you information. Again, a couple things I wanted to do. So again, going back, a couple things I want to review is, number one, somebody calls you unsolicited, so you get that random phone call at, just before lunch. Somebody calls and says, hey, there's a problem with the bank. We need to confirm that we're speaking to the right person. Give us your bank account information or your credit card information. Do not. It's all a fraud. They're just doing what's called phishing. So I'll backtrack a little bit here. I seem to be going around in circles only because I can't follow my presentation because I forgot to bring my glasses. But basically what they're doing is they're using a computer to do what's called mass dialing. So they'll dial 1,000 phone numbers. And when you answer, it flags your number, and then it connects you to a fraudster. They pretend that they're the bank, or in some cases, like for example, if you get a phone call that says, this is Microsoft problem with your computer, so you call the 1-800 number, they'll actually identify themselves as, I'm with Microsoft. Microsoft doesn't care about your computer, they just care about your money. They're not going to call you because there's a problem with your computer. Microsoft is not monitoring your computer to tell you that there's a problem with your computer. They're not going to call. You want to call Microsoft, you call Microsoft directly. You don't need to be calling Microsoft because you were given a phone number. So when you get this random phone number, or you call this random phone number, or you get the random phone call, do not give any personal information in. Do not. It's all a fraud. So what they're doing is they're collecting data from you. So number one, once you answer the call, you've flagged your phone number now as a valid phone number. So what they'll do is they'll actually sell your phone number to other fraudsters. So now all of a sudden, instead of getting one phone call, you're getting 5 or 6 a week. And then that person will sell your phone number to other fraudsters. So now all of a sudden you're getting 15 calls a week. I've gotten to the point where I don't even answer my home phone anymore. 8:30 every morning, I get a phone call from Visa. I don't have a Visa, right? Going back to the buy and sell. Do not send money to anyone on the internet unless you're willing to lose that money, because basically, from an RCMP standpoint, we receive so many of these a day that for us to be chasing every $100, every $20, I paid for a phone on the internet, I didn't get it. How much are you out? I'm out $100. Well, sorry. It's kind of like buyer beware. And I'm not saying that to be mean, but it's just resources. We just don't have the resources to be to be taking care of this. What we'll probably do is tell you to call this 1-800 number to report it so that it keeps track of it, but you won't get your money back. And it's sad, but it's just the world we live in these days, right? There's so many of these, especially now with COVID, with so many people being home, there's more people answering their phones, and more people that can be up to no good. So anyway, again, I'm going to shut it off there. I'm noticing a few droopy eyes and boring people. But I'm going to be sticking around. If you have any questions or anything like that, or maybe if you had some advice that I could share with somebody, we'll be gladly sitting around, and I'll be sitting here to chat. And thank you all for coming out. I know this is a busy time of year, and most people got other things to do and come out and listen to me talk. But I'm really passionate about this, and I really want to get the information out to different people. And I will. What I'll do is I'll photocopy my presentation and leave it. And if anybody wants a copy of it, I'm sure Father Conrad could arrange that to be picked up. Anyway, thank you. Oh, we have a question in the back. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when you challenge them on stuff and you start asking people, so basically the question out of the back was, I didn't know if you could hear, she said a friend of hers got a phone call about the grandchild in trouble, you know, and she was literally just about to send money, and the money she thought would ask, you know, what's your father's birthday? And the fraudster hung up. And I didn't want people to think that it's just seniors being taken. I find it seniors, and this is just a general statement, and I could get the lynch mob afterwards, but I think that generally, based on their personalities, seniors are more trusting. And they also, and this is not a bad thing, they also respect the authority a little more than the current people coming up, and I can probably get a lot of hate mail for that one, but so when they see RCMP or Canada Border Services on their phone, they have a tendency to believe it more. But keep in mind that there is false, there's ways of getting around, like I said, manipulating your own caller ID. I've gotten phone calls from my own phone. Oh, look, I'm getting a text message from myself. But it's people that spoof. Yeah, go ahead. Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, it depends. I can't really say specifically. It depends. Like, we don't, for example, the RCMP doesn't have a police association that would call people up seeking donations. I do know that there are other police organizations that do, but best way to challenge them is to ask them questions. Where are you based? What's your phone number? What's your address? Who's your supervisor? Just ask questions. Be curious. Be an investigator. I like to say that an investigation is like a leaky boat, and we're just plugging the holes in their story. So what we'll do is we'll start asking, okay, so you're calling me. Okay, you're from Visa. Well, what's your address? What's your Visa, company? Where do you come? Well, guess what? I don't have a Visa, so how did you get my number? And they usually hang up. But just challenge people. Don't be trusting that this person is legit on the other phone. A couple of things I wanted to put out there, and maybe because I lost track and went around in circles. The RCMP will not call you and tell you you have outstanding taxes and that we're coming to arrest you. They don't issue warrants of arrest for outstanding taxes. You'll get a letter from Canada Revenue saying you owe taxes. That's about it. The RCMP does not arrest people, I'll back it up. No police force will arrest anybody for outstanding taxes. I think we'd all be in jail. They don't have a jail big enough. Seems like everybody's getting taxed these days. So again, I'll get to your question in a second, sir. The RCMP does not call you and say, we're coming to arrest you if we're going to, unless you pay us money. And generally what they'll do is they'll ask for those gift cards that are going around. We need you to pay us $2,000 in gift cards. The government of Canada does not accept gift cards. You come in for fingerprinting at the office, and if the fee is $25, we'll ask you to write a check to the Receiver General. We don't ask for Google Play cards. Right? So just keep that in mind. And credit card company, if you receive a credit card company phone call and you think that, well, you know what, I do have a Visa and there may be issues with it, wait until you go to your branch. You can go to speak to someone at your branch in person, because the fraudsters will use high pressure tactics. One thing that really should set off bells and whistles is if you have somebody telling you, you should keep this a secret from your family. What do you have to keep your conversations with the bank secret for? You know what I mean? Like your spouse says, let's keep this between us. No need to involve your spouse. That should send off bells right away. I'll answer his questions first. Yes, sir.
I think I'm paranoid about online banking.
Absolutely. So you're paranoid about online banking. What is it about online banking? Right.
You have to go on, let's take the Royal Bank as an example.
Yep.
You use your online banking, you go to the Royal Bank website,
Right.
and you go to online banking. Is there any chance that that's being monitored by fraudsters?
There is possibility. So one of the things I was telling you about is keystroke recording. So I'm going to read you some of my junk email that's in my email account here. Now I usually get about 300 to 400 a week. Let's see here. I'm just going to read you some of the headlines on these emails, and just to give you an idea of what type of stuff that was called phishing emails. So what they're doing is these phishing emails are malicious emails. They want you to click on them because some of them actually install viruses on your computer that can actually do keystroke tracing, which is what they're using to gain access to your online banking. Go back to junk mail. Here we go, spam.
But that accessibility will only happen on this part if I
Click on one of those malicious emails.
click on a link.
Yeah.
But it's never, but if I don't do that, it's the online banking absolutely safe.
Generally, yes, because what they're doing now, I'm finding that a lot of the banks will they will, like, for example, if I log on to my online banking, it asks me, it says, let's verify it's you, and they say, what can we do? Can we send an email to your email account? Can we send you a text, or can we call you? That's how they verify it's you, right? So I'll just going back to what I was saying about some of the emails that I've been getting. So I got an email here from Walmart. Says, congratulations, you've won a $200 gift certificate. I didn't apply for any $200 gift certificate. Another one right after, Walmart, congratulations. Got one from Mark's Work Warehouse saying there's a delivery problem with your package. I didn't order anything from Mark's Work Warehouse. There's Walmart, sorry, there's a problem with your delivery of your package. I didn't order from. So what they want you to do is they just want you to click on these. Something from post@inbox.proxy. There's a problem with your package. We tried to deliver it today, but there was no response at your door. Please call this number to arrange pickup. They're not going to, this is just phishing emails, right? So going back to your question about online banking generally, one of the things I wanted to bring up with you is, I don't know if anybody here has received a phone call about, again, verifying your information. So problem with your Visa. Now we need to know your PIN number. And does anybody here have a problem with giving anybody their PIN number? Right? Your PIN number is for you and you only. Like, even if you have someone in your house, let's say you have a son or a daughter who takes care of your personal business, it's even frowned upon to give them your PIN number so that they can go use your account. And another no-no is having your PIN number written on your card. People do it. I hear chuckles, but people do it, right? They write it right on their card. I can't remember. I got so many passwords. How do I remember all these PIN numbers and passwords? Oh, I'll write them down. Never write your PIN number on your credit card or on your bank card, right?
What about all
The new tax stuff? Oh, tap. Yeah, no, that's pretty safe. Basically what it is a microchip that's embedded in your car. The only ones that we are really, we find scams is the gas station ATMs. They're not such a problem around here, but in the bigger centers where they put what's called a skimmer. So the skimmer, what it does is goes over where you put your credit card in, and then it basically is scanning your card. So what they do is they make copies of your card. And then the skimmer would also key track your PIN number. So now they have a copy of your card and your PIN number. So usually they get a couple $1,000, or depending on how much you got in your account, a couple of $100, and then you notice, oh, it's fraudulent activity on my card, I better go to the bank. So they've got a couple of $100 just from this device. Well, what if 50 people used that ATM that day? So now they got $100 from 50 people. Starts to add up pretty quickly, right? Father? Right.
Is that safe to use?
Not for online banking. Generally, we tell people if you're going to be going to the coffee shop or you're going to be going to use the hotel Wi-Fi and stuff like that, generally try to stay away from using the free Wi-Fi to do your online banking and stuff. And I don't know how it's done, but there are malicious people out there that can steal your information from what they call public Wi-Fi and public internet. Yep. Yep. Right.
In the end, who is responsible for that money? Is it the bank or you?
That would be something you'd have to discuss with your bank, but generally they're usually pretty forthcoming in supporting you. So I can't speak on a bank's basis. I don't really know, but generally I've had incidents in the past where, depending on the circumstances, if in a case like this where it's a phishing email, generally they cover it because they have insurance for that sort of thing. But there have been incidents where, for example, if somebody's gained access to your PIN number, they will not. The bank will not cover if you've given your PIN number to somebody. So we've had cases where basically, like, you know, you feel sorry for this person. They have no place to live. They move in with you and they help you with chores and stuff like that. And you know, hey, I can go to the grocery store to get the 4 liters of milk at $10 or whatever it is these days. Milk is just as expensive as booze and cigarettes these days, I'm thinking. But and then all of a sudden this person takes your bank card, goes to the bank, and because you gave them the PIN number, now they pull out an extra $200, and all of a sudden there's a big argument and they leave, and the bank will not reimburse you for your $200 that you're out because you gave them the PIN number, right? So it depends. It would be an individual circumstance. And then, yeah, in the back.
I had a email, just about a week ago, I guess, and it was from Amazon,
Right,
and it said, your account has been closed,
right,
and send us your Visa number immediately,
right,
but it was a Visa,
right.
but anyway, I just deleted them because I said, I'm sure when I order from Amazon, they're going to think
Yeah, absolutely. So that would probably be a case of a phishing email. So what you're saying was you got an email, what you thought was Amazon, saying that your account's been closed, and in order to reopen your email, they need to send you need to send your Visa number. Yeah, again, that would be a phishing email, right? Generally, what happens is, again, I read some off your email account, off my email account. Walmart, problem with your delivery. I get Amazon. I'll get some from Shoppers Drug Mart, and it's just just continuous. Like I said, I receive about 600 or 700 a week of emails, just spam. Yep.
I also got one from Amazon,
Yep.
and talking about Amazon Prime, which I have,
Yep.
but I was paying $9 a month or whatever, and I kept thinking I had to cancel that,
Right.
but I wasn't computer savvy enough to go in and cancel.
Right.
So then, perfect, I get a phone call, and they ask me how I'm doing with my Amazon Prime, and I said, well, I'd like to cancel it. They said, okay, we can do that for you.
Yep.
But it went on and on until they wanted access to my computer.
Yeah. Or they want your credit card number. Why would they need your credit card number to cancel your Amazon account, right?
Go there. First of all, they gave me instructions about how to do myself.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to
Yeah.
what they were telling me. So then they said, well, we can do it for you. You'll just let us access your computer.
But I'm finding that there are a lot of people. If you have a lot of time to kill and you want to watch YouTube videos, you go in and you type in scams on YouTube, watch YouTube videos. There's a gentleman over in I want to say Britain, England, UK. I don't even know what the proper term is these days. I think it's the UK. What he does is he uses his computer skills to combat scammers, and he'll go in and gain access to scammers' computers and then get lists of people that are being scammed, and he'll contact them and tell them that they're being scammed, and as it's entertaining to watch, and it just gives you an insight on how these people work, especially with the computer scams and stuff like that. And it is awesome. If you find the right one, like I said, Jim Browning is one fellow that I know. I spend hours watching his videos because it's awesome. And he'll get in and he'll challenge the scammers. Like he'll call up and play along, and they're saying that they're from Amazon, or they say that they're from Windows, and he's using Apple products, so he doesn't even use Microsoft products, and you just catch them in lies. But basically it's just they're fishing for your information. So again, just don't be giving people your credit card information over the phone, especially unsolicited phone calls where you get those phone calls saying, hey, we need to confirm it's you, please give us your credit card number just so that we know who's you. No, right? People have what's the word? People have, or the scammers that have technology, they have, that's why I was telling you to go to those YouTube videos, because they show some of the technologies in there. They have software that tells you, like, for example, I tried to play along with a scammer one day, and I tried to feed him a bogus credit card number, and they knew that it was bogus right off the bat, because they have software that they punch in that legitimate businesses often use, and it'll verify whether or not it's a valid credit card. And it won't say credit card, but you know, for example, your Visa has what, 12 numbers on it. The first 6 are limited to a certain branch. Like, for example, 5191 is for Bank of Montreal. That's the first 4 of my credit card. And different companies have the different sequences of numbers. It's kind of like the serial number on your car. The first, you know, 8 of them are pretty standard, but then the last 4 or 5 are the ones that's unique to you. So they use this software to verify that if you're feeding them a bogus information. And that's something that legitimate businesses use, but fraudsters also use it as well. They'll use, like I said, computer software to dial random numbers, 1,000 numbers at a time. As soon as you get picked up, you get connected to a fraudster. He's going on there saying he's with MasterCard, Visa. And don't think that it's just MasterCard, Visa, and Walmart, this sort of thing. They'll call up and pretend that they're Nova Scotia Power. They'll call up and say that they're Bell, offering you a special account. I'm suspicious of everybody. Trust God, and everybody else gets run on the system, right? You know, but yeah.
Years ago, when you got a scamming phone call, you could pretty much tell by the number coming up on the phone.
Absolutely.
You know, you're saying that when you answer the phone, they sell your number if they know
To-
it's a real one?
Yeah.
But when it comes up, you know, 625-226-863,
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to not answer.
Absolutely, and like I told you, I've gotten to the point where I don't even answer my home phone anymore, and I'm getting to the point where it's like that with my cell phone now, and they're holding me a hostage, right? I'll if I'm waiting for a phone call, I may answer it, but generally, if you call my cell phone, you may get my voicemail, because I generally don't answer it, because unless I recognize your number, you know, I recognize your number, and most of my phone calls are work related because I have no friends. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so if I don't recognize your phone number, I don't call.
Within the cell number, if it's not in your personal phone,
Right, it won't.
the name doesn't come up.
Right, but that being said, I just made a Google search for a hotel, because I'm staying in a hotel this weekend, and then all of a sudden, you know, even though I didn't call this hotel on my phone, on my cell phone, because I called them from my home phone, I get a phone call on my cell phone from this hotel, and it comes up on the thing, right? So it's kind of hard. You gotta judge yourself accordingly. You know, get to know who's on your contact list. And again, just because it's a 625 number doesn't mean say it's a legit number, because people have called in and said, hey, you know, the RCMP number is 2220. Well, I had a lady that lived locally here. She got a phone call from the RCMP saying that her taxes were overdue, and that if she didn't pay $3,800 in Google Play cards, they kept her on the phone while she drove. They didn't know anything about the area, and they said, well, where's the nearest store that sell these cards? And she didn't know. She said, well, I can go to Harvey Bushy. So she went to Harvey Bushy with these people on the phone. She went into the store, she bought hundreds and hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards, gave them the serial number. No fault of her own. She thought it was the RCMP calling about her taxes, right? And they said they were going to arrest her. High pressure tactics. We're going to arrest you. We're going to do it. And she gave them $3,800. And we can't get that money back, regardless. Once those codes are given to whoever's on the other end, they don't need the actual physical card that's going around. They just need the number that's on the back. And then they sell those. Go ahead.
You were saying, like, if somebody gets a call, it's displayed as RCMP,
Mm-hmm.
I
I can tell you right now, the RCMP caller ID doesn't come up on your phone. It comes up private name, private number.
Yeah, I got a legitimate RCMP call, and it came up as private.
Private name, private number. We don't put caller ID on our phones, but that being said, we still don't arrest people for outstanding taxes. God, you come and arrest me now.
This has nothing to do with tax.
Right, no. But even if you're waiting for the RCMP to call you, it's going to be private name, private number, or the actual number, depending on which line we use, because we have certain secure lines at the office. You had a question, sir? Yeah.
And my wife answers the phone, she switches to Spanish.
Yeah.
I answer the phone, I switch to Gaelic.
Oh, there you go. I wish I knew a second language. But like, just keep in mind, anytime you get a phone call from, I'll cut it short because I'm realizing a lot of people have probably got other plans. But anytime you get a phone call from, start asking people, okay, you calling from Canada Revenue, where's your head office? Who's your supervisor? Where are you working from? What is your phone number? Take that information on. Generally, when you challenge them, they shut down. Coworker of mine got the phone call last night from, he was telling me today before I came here today, I got the phone call last night from Visa, and his wife said, hang up, and she said, no. He said, oh, no. So he went on and he said, you know, but he said, what's your name? And he said, Constable Sam Smith of the RCMP. Oh, click. And anyway, yeah, one more question.
We did get a legitimate call from Visa about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
A voicemail message.
Yeah.
And they said, phone back the number on the back of the card.
Right. So there. That.
So I get it for the wrong bank, and Rory called the number, and it's someone in Florida trying to use their card.
Right.
Shut it down.
So just give you an idea, like my wife went online and it's through no fault of her own. She went on and she clicked on this suspicious site, this product that she had, and she wanted to buy this product. Soon as she clicked on submit credit card information, we got a call from the Bank of Montreal saying somebody in Ontario is trying to use your credit card. So just that quick. So she clicked send, trying to order this product. I got a phone call from Bank of Montreal, not right away, but let's say a couple of minutes. Somebody in London, Ontario was trying to buy shoes at Softmock with my credit card. So we had to cancel our credit cards and stuff like that. So when the problem with the credit card, they'll tell you to call the credit card number on the back. Again, be suspicious of everyone. Take the time to go to the bank. Don't be afraid that you're going to lose all of your money and stuff like that, because generally, if it's no fault of your own, the bank has insurance and they'll help you out as best they can, all right? But anyway, I'll cut it short there. Thanks for your time. I'll be sitting around. I'm getting some of the treats back there look delicious, so I'm going to be sticking around. Thank you.
So thanks to Constable Rory for joining us today. We invite you to stay, have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and munch. And Constable Rory is going to be here, so if you have some other kind of more informal questions, please, by all means, the time is yours. Thanks for coming. Great.